Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a weird one for me. I don't usually do stuff like this, but I came up with this idea a while back, and I thought, it's not a good idea, But then my uncle said something that was kind of interesting to me. He said, if somebody says something dumb, you can always, stand up and, prove them wrong. And then I read someplace that the only way for evil to win is if good people do nothing. And so I was like, you know what? Maybe I should say something. And so my dad is, runs cattle, and my mother's a veterinarian. And that vegan teacher's out there spreading all of this misinformation. And I know, like, usually I'd be like, stay out of this. But this time I was just like, you know what? Why don't I actually say something? Like, what's wrong with standing up and saying something? So that's what we're going to do. And I'm just going to prove everything she said is wrong. But these are, yeah, I hope I won't take too long. This shouldn't be super long. But the horses, as you can see, these are a couple of horses, and they're right outside near where I live. They're younger ones. They think that I'm interesting. So they came up to the fence and were just following me as I was walking along. They're quite nice. And then, oh, that's the cattle across the street. So, yeah, this is a good time to start talking. So, the cattle, she has this weird idea that cattle are sexually assaulted. I can't actually say what she said because I don't want to, yeah. But it's like, what? Where do you come up with these ideas? But then I realized, oh, wait, she's talking about something that's like, huh? No, she's talking about artificial insemination, which, that sounds really bad, but that's when we inject cattle with sperm and then they, have calves. There's nothing wrong with it. The cattle are safe. It's 100% scientific, 100% painless, and the cattle are fine with it. So, yeah, it's like, well, where does she get this idea from? And honestly, can you imagine? Like, these are some of the smaller ones, actually. There's like a few, this is one of the bulls, but can you imagine sexually assaulting a 3,000 pound animal? Like, no, no. Anyway, we're just gonna move right along. So those are the horses that decided they wanted to say hi to us. They were just following us around. Yeah, they were. I wanted to go over there and feed them some grass, but I had my dog with me, and they don't like dogs, so I was just walking along, and they kept following me. Really sweet things. Yeah, so they were just following me around, and I thought that was really nice. And yeah, we're just gonna keep going through these pictures. I have a lot of pictures of those horses. Okay, here's some more of the cattle. So these are actually young bulls. Because you can see that they don't have any of the female udders and stuff. These are young bulls. They're probably going to take them out of the pen with each other soon because they can start fights, and yeah, that's bad. They kill each other that way. So that's another thing. Like, says we should leave them alone, but if you don't do something, they're all gonna, die, which is unfortunate. Like, we don't want to leave them alone. And then it'll pull up. So these cattle, some of them have calves. Like, you can see the cute little calves. They were just all laying down asleep this one day. And she says that you steal milk from cows. Some of the things just makes me laugh. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. If you don't milk a cow, then they'll die of mastitis. The milk in their udders becomes toxic and spreads throughout their whole system and toxifies their whole system, and they die, which is really bad. And then you have the little calves that all of a sudden can't feed. So you have to go out there every single day with a bottle and bottle feed them, which at first it's like kind of nice and oh, they're so cute. But then after getting up every 3 hours, if you don't find another mom for them, yeah, not great. So yeah, this is also where they are. She also has this weird idea that all cattle are always in barns, which doesn't make any sense because, like I said, this is reality. This is where we are. This is how cattle are usually treated if they're not out on the range. These are specifically beef cattle. And beef cattle, well, you have to have meat sorry, there's a lot of people that like literally they have to have meat, otherwise they'll get tons of different diseases and that kind of thing. Same with animals. I rarely feed my dog anything that doesn't have like some kind of nutritional properties in it. I just knocked my phone on the floor. Anyway, I try not to feed my dog anything that's like doesn't have meat in it so that, she has healthy bones, grows up stronger. She's a young one, but I don't want her to have any diseases later on in life. I want to be healthy, so I'm going to eat stuff with meat in it. She has this weird idea that um, the Bible says you're not supposed to eat meat, which is 100% inaccurate because the animals were literally, at the beginning of time, the animals were given to Adam to help him as he, nourishes and replenishes the earth. And Jesus Christ himself had milk and honey, and I'm sure there were other things that they ate as well. Then Moses, the law of Moses, the only type of animal he technically couldn't eat was pork because of the way it's cooked and the diseases that can come from it. So, yeah, but we're just gonna keep going. So, yeah, these are all of the. This is like one of the bigger pastures, but sometimes we'll take him out on the range, which is public land, and we'll just let him eat, and then we'll bring him down when the time is right. But this is this is how cattle are usually raised. I don't know where she's getting this weird idea from. Um, yeah, and this is a little calf. The little calf wanted to say hi to Angel through the fence. I thought that was so cute, so I took a picture of it. But yeah, the little calf was like, "I want to say hi to your dog," and that's my dog. That's Angel. If you've been watching for a little while, you know who Angel is. So I think those are all of the pictures of the cattle that I have. Oh no, there's a mom with a little baby. Yeah. There's another mom with a little baby. There's a few in here actually. They were across the road from the other one, and there's my uncle's cats. So, yeah, if you think these cats were strays and they were underneath our wood pile and we caught them, and bad things would have happened if we hadn't done that. They could have gotten hit by cars and everything, and we always feed them cat food that's good for them, that has meat and grain and stuff like that in it. And yeah, they're healthy and stuff like that. Um, yeah, and then there's just a couple other things that I wanted to talk about here. Another one is we're just gonna go. Well, I can hang out right here next to the calves. We're gonna. Yeah, I just thought this was cute. She was trying to say hi to Angel through the fence. But yeah, she's. Yeah. Oh, you cannot actually see her. Oh well. Yeah, my dog is down at the bottom. I don't know what happened. I was trying to not have this cut off, but it's a little bit cut off. Oh well, I can't fix it right now. Or maybe I could. I could try to fix it. Well, I can't fix it right now. I'll have to fix it later. Too bad you can't see my dog, but she's down here. Yeah, she's down here. You can't see her, but the calf wanted to say hi to her. I just thought that was cute. Anyway, oh, there he goes behind me again. This cat's deciding he wants my attention. Anyway, so we try to feed our animals good things, healthy things, because my mother's a veterinarian and so she knows all the healthy stuff like that. So, yeah, definitely follow veterinarians' advice. And then there's nutritionists that say, you should drink milk, eat meat, that kind of thing. Like, I don't know where she's getting all these weird ideas that you're healthy from all of that. The next thing that she says is you steal wool from sheep, which is beyond me. I don't even know where she got that idea from because if you don't shear a sheep, all of their wool will tangle and it'll get all bad, and then they'll eventually not be able to walk very well and die of heat stroke if it's too hot, or if it's too cold, they won't be able to move through the snow. Yeah, it's just bad all the way around. You have to shear your sheep, otherwise, health problems can become very, very rampant. Next thing she says is stealing eggs from chickens, which is 100% incorrect. If you don't take the eggs out of there, they'll rot. That'll cause bacteria, and then the chickens themselves will become unhealthy. So, like, you can't just leave them. That's not that's not accurate, you know. And then she's all mad about people that go out hunting. Well, guess what? If you don't hunt, then, all of these deer herds will get too, there'll be too many of them, and then they'll eventually not find places to eat, and they'll eventually die of starvation, which is not good either. Like, that's not bad. That's really bad. You not do not need to do that. Yeah, that's not good. And then I don't know if she's actually attacked the Iditarod yet, but in case she does, the Iditarod is a sled dog race. And these dogs, she'll probably say it's abusing animals, but these dogs are bred for it and they're trained for it. And they love to run. In fact, sometimes I have to tell my dog to not pull on me because she's pulling and trying to, go faster. And so sometimes I have to tell her, don't pull, and I'll just be walking. In fact, that's where I got a lot of these pictures, is while I was out walking just near where we are. All of these cows. But yeah, this, whatever she's saying about the cattle being in horrible places and everything, she's 100% incorrect. Because this is reality. This is where we live. This is where all of that comes from. And the barns that the cattle are taken into to get their, get milked, which, like I said before, you have to milk them, otherwise they'll die. But the barns are 100% safe, they're clean, all of that. And then the artificial insemination, 100% safe, 100% scientific, 100% painless. Like, yeah, there's no sexual assault, as she's calling it, which I think is absurd. Because, like I said, look at that. Do you think that somebody could assault that right there? Or how about this bull over here? Or maybe that one. Yeah, no. No, that's completely impossible. There's no way that that's possible. And then, of course, there's the horses, which sometimes we use artificial insemination on them, sometimes we don't. It just depends on what you need and, you know, all of that. So the truth is now out there. This is reality. The lies she is spreading is ridiculous. It's absurd. So everything she's said is proved to be wrong. Because this is reality, and this is a cat. Hi, cat. This is a cat that is bugging me. So we know what's right and what's wrong. But if you've come across that information, you now know that everything she said is inaccurate. That's just how it is. I can literally prove in just less than 15 minutes everything she said is inaccurate. And if you still have doubts, or if you want me to talk about something else that she's talked about, just go ahead and leave a comment and tell me. Because my mother is a veterinarian, my dad is cattle rancher. I live in Cattleman. That's it. Bye.